Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to completely unpack what I like to call a massive financial paradox. Why does earning a huge salary not automatically make you rich? I mean, we're basically spoon-fed this idea, right? That if we just snag that promotion or finally hit six figures, poof, all our money worries just vanish into thin air. But, the data tells a vastly different story. So if you've ever looked around and wondered why so many high-income earners are secretly sweating it out paycheck to paycheck, well, you're in exactly the right place. Oh, and be sure to hit that like button and subscribe as we dive into the real, kind of surprising truth about money, spending, and true financial freedom.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the high salary trap. You see, relying on salary alone is a fundamental misunderstanding of how money actually works in the real world. And honestly, it's a trap that catches some of the smartest, hardest working people out there. Let's just imagine two people side by side for a second. Person A is earning $45,000 a year. Person B earns more than 3 times that amount, bringing home a whopping $150,000 annually. Fast forward 10 years. Person B, despite that massive income, has ended up completely broke, just buried under a mountain of debt. Meanwhile, Person A, our 45K earner, has achieved total financial freedom in just a single decade. Like, how is that even mathematically possible? Well, it literally happens every single day, mostly because people falsely believe a higher paycheck just automatically generates wealth all on its own.
To really understand this trap, we got to separate two very different concepts that we constantly confuse: income versus wealth. Income is simply the money you earn, right? It's your salary, your hourly wage, the cash flowing into your checking account. Wealth, on the other hand, well, that's the money you keep. It's the money you invest and the money that grows while you're fast asleep. Having a high income is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but it absolutely does not magically translate into high wealth unless you take deliberate, intentional action with that cash once it hits your bank account.
It really all boils down to this one simple idea. It's not what you earn, it's what you keep. The harsh reality of personal finance is that someone earning $50,000 who diligently saves and invests will ultimately completely crush a $200,000 earner who spends every single penny just to maintain a flashy image. Keeping and growing your money is what actually builds a net worth, not just the initial size of the paycheck itself.
Which brings us to Section 2, beware of lifestyle inflation. This is the silent wealth killer. Human psychology is kind of funny, isn't it? Whenever we get a raise, our absolute first instinct is to immediately upgrade our expenses instead of bumping up our investments. A $10,000 raise suddenly morphs into a bigger house, a much newer car with that intoxicating new car smell, and, a hefty monthly payment to go with it, plus exotic vacations, luxury clothes, and constantly upgrading to the newest phone just because the camera lenses look slightly different. Sound familiar? Because of this, the gap between what people earn and what they spend stays exactly the same, meaning their actual wealth never grows. They're basically running faster but staying on the exact same financial treadmill. So I want you to be really honest with yourself for a second. If your income doubled tomorrow, would your investments double or would your spending double? It's a tough question, I know, but it is the ultimate test of your money mindset. If your immediate thought just instantly jumps to the car you'd buy or the fancy zip code you'd move to, well, you might be highly susceptible to lifestyle inflation. Now on to Section 3, the consumer debt danger, a true wealth destroyer. Beyond just upgrading our lifestyles, there's a secondary, way more aggressive wealth destroyer out there. Now, it's super important to clarify that not all debt is inherently evil. A reasonable mortgage, for instance, that can totally be part of a healthy financial plan. But consumer debt? That is downright dangerous. We're talking about credit cards carrying 20+% interest rates, massive car loans for luxury vehicles that start losing value the second you drive them off the lot, and personal loans taken out just to fund a lifestyle or a vacation that, let's face it, you can't actually afford. Taking on this kind of consumer debt actively dismantles your financial future. It literally pulls money away from your future self just to satisfy a want today. And the mechanics of why consumer debt is so devastating? It really just comes down to the two directions of interest. When you invest, the sheer power of compound interest works for you. It becomes the engine of your wealth, multiplying your money over time like a snowball rolling down a hill. But when you borrow and carry consumer debt, interest works against you. It turns into a heavy anchor, dragging your net worth down and making absolutely everything you buy exponentially more expensive over time.
Let's pivot to Section 4, habits of the wealthy. This is the millionaire mindset.
Okay, here's a truth that social media definitely does not want you to know. Real wealth is usually super boring. And honestly,
That's a great thing. Social media has completely warped our reality, making wealth look instantaneous, flashy, and constantly exciting. Private jets, designer bags, popping bottles in clubs. But the reality is, real wealth is built slowly, quietly, and very deliberately. It's the result of decades of unglamorous, smart decisions. And hey, quick side note, if you're finding this explainer helpful and cutting through all that noise so far, please take a quick second to hit that like button. It really helps us out. So, what do those boring, smart decisions actually look like in practice? Well, successful wealth builders share these exact same common habits. They always spend less than they earn. They invest every single month, treating it like a mandatory, non-negotiable bill. They continuously educate themselves about money and markets. They think in terms of decades, not days. They prepare for emergencies with solid cash reserves. And crucially, they absolutely avoid emotional spending. Building true financial freedom relies entirely on practicing these consistent, everyday habits rather than just praying a massive salary will swoop in and save you. Let's wrap up with Section 5, your 5-step action plan to start building wealth today. Because look, knowledge is great, but execution is quite literally everything. Here's a concrete roadmap you can start following today to begin building actual wealth. Regardless of what your current income looks like, let's walk through it together. Step 1. Track every single dollar for 1 month. You simply cannot manage what you do not measure. Step 2. Build an emergency fund. Think of this as your financial shock absorber, so you never have to fall back on credit cards when a tire pops or a pipe bursts. Step 3. Attack and pay off that high-interest consumer debt. Cut that anchor loose. Step 4. Automate your investments. Set it up so money moves into your investment accounts every month before you even see it in your checking. And Step 5, which is your ultimate defense against lifestyle inflation, increase your investments every single time your income increases. Got a raise? Awesome. Now funnel the majority of it straight into your portfolio. By following these 5 straightforward steps, you're going to break the cycle and finally put your money to work for you. Ultimately, this whole thing comes together in one incredibly simple truth. Your income can build your lifestyle, but your habits build your future. Having a good salary is wonderful, for sure. It makes life easier and way more comfortable. But it absolutely does not guarantee wealth. Small, consistent actions, like automating those investments and steering clear of bad debt, will always create extraordinary results compared to just relying on a big paycheck alone. So, I want to leave you with a final, provocative thought. If your salary literally doubled tomorrow, what is the absolute first thing you would do? Would you spend more, save more, or invest more? I really want to hear from you on this one. Let us know your answer in the comments below and tell us what one money habit you're going to improve starting today. Thank you so much for learning with us in this explainer, and we will see you next time.